Hello Gemini, and welcome to the first video for your sign of the Men Edit series. Now Gemini, if you missed my Christmas video, I did a bit of an update on men and wanting to hold space for them, particularly due to the rising rate of male suicide. For those that missed it, I'll put a link at the end. For me, it's something that I feel like as we keep growing and evolving in our community, we tend not to give a lot of credence for, and that's holding space for men and allowing them to be vulnerable. So as a light worker, I feel called to kind of do that, and that's why I'm bringing this series to you for the channel. It is a tarot reading specifically for men and masculine energy, okay? So whether you're a straight male, a gay male, transgender, whatever it is, as long as you identify as a male, then this video is for you. It's not to be confused with spiritual divine masculine energy. That's completely different, because that can be for women who are female, obviously, on this earth. So this is specifically for men. Now ladies, I know you're going to watch anyway, but you're welcome, but this is for men, okay? I did get a special little oracle deck just for you guys. It's called Gods and Titans, so we're going to go through that, and let's see what your messages are for the month ahead. Universe and angels, messages and guides, my higher self, I call upon you now to give me a clear and accurate reading for the sign of Gemini. Please show me what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. Can I please have 4 cards that's Gemini men for the month ahead, mid-February to mid-March? Please show me. Thank you, Spirit. Wow, Gemini, coming up in your own sign. And I'm going to take the card from the bottom of the deck, which is the 5 of Swords. Okay, so let me just adjust these for you. Gemini. 5 of Swords. Who are you battling with? You know, what I love about your sign, particularly when it comes to Gemini males, is that when you get stuck on an idea and you know that you're right, depending on what mood you're in, you can go for the jugular, right? And sometimes that can cause you to get off guard with people. See this sword here, severing ties? So word of caution, just be careful with your words. And how you're delivering them, okay? Whether the message is correct or not, really try and judge your audience and see whether they're prepared to hear what you're trying to tell them. Now, before I get into it, in terms of signs, you do have a King of Wands here. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Ignore the fact that it's a king. It could be male or female in energy. This is a general reading. You also have the Page of Swords. So this could be a younger air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, although I feel like this is talking about energy rather than a person. You also have Gemini come up here, which I believe is yourself, and Pisces. Now, what's interesting is that you've got 2 4s. Who else had this? Was it Aries? Yeah, I think Aries had similar kind of energy. I really feel like for you this month, this time period from mid-February to mid-March, you're focused a lot on your foundation. You could be trying to save your money, save your coin. Maybe you're thinking about a house move, although I don't have the cards of an actual move in this time period, but I do have a card that for me represents foundation, your home. I feel like you're taking your time, okay? Maybe, like I said, you're saving. Maybe you could be wanting to purchase a property, maybe put a down payment on a house. And if it's not a home, it could be relation to business, right? It could be that you're wanting to put a down payment on something to do with business, maybe go into business with someone, because you do have the Lovers at the base of your reading. Now, this is your sign, Gemini. This does represent you. And it can obviously speak about a romantic connection, but I have to be honest, I don't have any cups here whatsoever, so I'm not feeling like it's talking to me about anything to do with love. Sorry, got to call it how I see it. What I do feel like it's saying though is that maybe it's a business partnership. And I feel like either you or the other person's trying to check out all the finer details, maybe even like checking you out online, checking out your LinkedIn profile, checking out your Facebook profile. I don't think you have all the information just yet, okay? So for those of you that this is resonating and it is to do with the new business partnership, if you can, try and hold out until April. Like, I know that seems like a long time, but we have Mercury going retrograde on the 6th of March. So you're going to have a shadow period either side. So leading up to the 6th of March, give or take about 2 weeks, and post the 2-week period, so towards the end of March. So it's just not the very best time from an astrological point of view to actually begin any new contracts, to sign any new contracts. I certainly don't see you signing anything in this period. I see you preparing to get the funds together that you need to make this choice. If it's not that, then this King of Wands could be someone that's at your work, or it could be, I'm not getting friend, I'm getting like a boss, a leader figure. And I feel like they're keeping you in limbo about where you're working within the company. And I feel like for some of you, it could mean that you need to move, and that's why you're trying to keep money saved, because you could need to relocate for work. You couldn't quite have the shits and want to speak your mind. And that's why I'm saying just be very careful with your words. You could just be kind of like at this very time period, whenever you're watching this video, but for me, I'm filming it on the 12th of Feb. You could be very much like at the end of the limit and just wanting to tell them to nick off. But don't do it, because I see something really beautiful coming in, okay? It's quite dark up here, but I don't know if you can see what I see. Then the light starts to come in, right? I love these cards for that reason, because it's very much light and shade. It talks about both polarities when it comes to energy. The good thing is, I mean, if you are thinking about getting into business with someone, if you are thinking about taking a role, I don't see it as a promotion. I see it more like a sidestep. If you are looking at doing that, then I feel like it's going to be something that's quite rewarding for you, okay? It'll be a good solid partnership, something that'll come together, that'll give you what you want. I feel like you just need to take your time with it. Don't rush it. Not that you would, Gemini. I mean, you're so smart, right? You think about things clearly, but do all your research, okay? Do all your research. I see this partnership coming together as we're going into the next time period. So maybe you guys don't listen to me and you start it in March during that retrograde. I will be filming this next video mid-March, so maybe that's when it happens after that. But I definitely see that the energy and the potential for you, I mean, you're moving from a 5 of Swords, which is quite a winning at all costs kind of, you know, defensive energy, and then you're going into this really amazing energy of happiness and a really good business partnership, okay? Like the birds are flying in tandem. Yeah, and this King of Wands, like I said, I feel like it's a leader. It's either your boss or a potential business partner. It could be, if you're wanting to get a loan, it could be someone at the bank. I don't see you getting approved for a loan in this period. I see the money that you have is everything you have yourself that you built up. That's what this card is. This is my Scrooge McDuck card, right? So when you save and save and save all your pennies away for a rainy day. But I do see that this person, whoever it is, whether it's your boss, whether it's someone that you're wanting to go into business with, whether it's someone that you're wanting a loan from, whatever it is, they're keeping you in limbo. And that's what's causing your frustration. But my advice is do whatever you can to try and stay on top of it, because I feel like they're going to come good. They're going to do the right thing by you, and you are going to have quite a good long-term business partnership, relationship in whatever sense form that comes for you. All right, can I have additional guidance for the sign of Gemini, male Geminis, from mid-February to mid-March? Male Geminis from mid-February to mid-March. Thank you. There it is. Hades. Death. Check out this card. Isn't that illustration cool? All right, let me read it for you from the guidebook. Hades. Death is not always a negative thing. Everything has a season. Leave behind what you no longer need. Guarding the gates of the underworld crouches the three-headed dog Cerberus. Snarling and growling at anything that moves, the dog's jaw drips pools of saliva onto the cool, dark stone. Soon a solitary figure approaches. It's Hades himself. His dog calms and submits as three heads wait for a petting. The master has arrived. Hades is the Greek god of death. His name itself comes from the Hellenic word for invisible. This was because the realm of the underworld, also referred to as Hades, was invisible to all, plus Hades owned a special helmet permitting the wearer to be undetectable. The weapon was featured in a number of stories and was worn by many other gods at war. Hades inherited the underworld when Cronus divided the territories, his brother Zeus and Poseidon receiving the sky and sea respectively. Wealthy due to the unlimited riches of precious metals in his kingdom, Hades was intelligent and not at all monstrous. Although feared by man, naturally Hades was not a particularly nasty god and looked for love like his brothers. The story of I can never pronounce these gods' names, so if I'm saying it wrong, correct me. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to say it right either again. What was his, how do you say it? I'm not going to say it right, so I won't say it. But you know, his love partner was the most famous story featuring Hades, and one which shows that death is just another cyclic part of life. Hades fell in love with Zeus's and Demeter's daughter Persephone. I can't pronounce it properly. And Zeus promised Hades her hand in marriage. Unfortunately, he does not tell all the women this, and as it turns out, they do not agree. In his frustration, Hades kidnaps her. Taking her deep down into his dark domain, he tries to woo her. Well, that's always going to work, right? Let's kidnap her and then try and win her over. And it goes on to say, Hades offers Persephone a pomegranate. This is the fruit of death, and anyone who eats the fruit must stay in Hades. By the time the gods have figured out that Hades has her, Zeus asks for her release. However, she has already partaken the seeds of the fruit, so Hades has to claim her. So the whole point of this card, right, for the long story that I'm giving you with the history, goes on to say, should Hades come forth, this does not normally signify a physical death. An ending or a leaving behind is more likely, and this is not always a negative thing. Every life has a span, in particular ideas, beliefs, and fears that have passed their expiry date. Sometimes in order for growth to occur, death must occur too. And look, I really feel like for a lot of you guys, it's about your place in the workforce, and I feel like it's going to be, as I said, a change that's going to come through. And I really do feel like this is going to be something that actually is going to help you forward, okay? Now, there is an invocation that you can do. It says, Hades must be carefully invoked only by certain circumstances and only by experienced practitioners. For most, though, a ritual facilitating the death of a habit or a belief that has run its time is useful in its stead. For example, you might decide to give up smoking, stop feeling fearful of being without a partner, or that old belief that you aren't good enough. The best time to do this ritual is the dark moon or in a waning moon cycle, which is now. You need a black candle, a rock, a pen and paper. Please do some careful thinking ahead of time about what it is that you wish to let go. Light the black candle and say, Universe, I wish to allow, insert what it is, to die. To the underworld, this is banished. Hold the rock. Think about this thing that you want banished. Think about what this thing does to you and what it costs you in peace of mind or even money. This probably won't feel positive, and it shouldn't. When you really experience the negativity of this belief or habit, then take a big breath in and imagine gathering up all of this heavy feeling and then exhaling into the stone, breathing and blowing all of this negativity onto the rock. Then say, upon this rock, within this rock, what I no longer need is placed. May this be recycled into energy that is useful. Blow out the candle with thanks. Now go out and place this rock in a hole in the ground, preferably at a crossroads. Wow, there you go, guys. So if there's something that you want to do and let go of, maybe it's this kind of short temper, maybe it's something that's holding you back, that's keeping you away from your dreams. Maybe this is a card of love for you and it's meant to be energy that's coming in, but it's blocked right now. Whatever it is, a habit, a person, a place, a time, then that is the invocation for you. I hope you found this reading helpful. My apologies if I pronounced any of that wrong. Couldn't even say her name. I really do hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the like button. It helps the channel more than you know. Write me a comment. I read all of them, and I'll be back with you next month. Take care.